Good afternoon. This is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com, and today I'm going over a gap down. This was BIDU. And boy, did this thing work nice today. I actually had this as one of my top two picks, this and another one, but this worked better than I thought, quicker than I thought, to be honest with you. And so didn't get the first play in it. I'm going to go over the first play, got the second play in it, and I'm so happy that I booked the second play because you know what? This did not go to the target that it really should have gone to today, which we're going to go over here. So the target really on this was $95.94.50. I have no idea why this stopped here at 95.30. In fact, let's look here. I was looking 95.25 was the closest number I could find to this, which was the close of this bar here, and it didn't even make it down there. 95.30. No, 90. No. I don't know why this thing stopped. 95.32. Oh, there it is. There it is. It just dinged, boop, 2 pennies right under there. There it is. There it is. That's what it did. That's what it did right there. Do you see that? So that's unfortunate. I thought this would go to break 95. It didn't do it, but I got out. I got out before it didn't break, luckily. And it was a nice trade. It was a nice trade even for the second trade because this thing really can move on the day. And I'm familiar with trading this, even though it's a higher price stock. But that was a damaging gap. All right, this was an earnings, and it was a damaging gap. And this chart has had some problems now for a while. In fact, oof. Really, this one here, it hasn't seen for this number back up here at this 141. It hasn't lost half its price, but it's gotten pretty close to it. What was the low down here at 1.86? Let's just see where the target really is on this. Oh, look at that. Look at that today. Look at that. That came right in there in the 200 period moving average on the weekly. I'm just noticing that now. Look, that's what it did. That's what it did. Look at that. Wow. What a nice chart. What a nice chart. Honestly, this has got two options here. This is going to continue on the gap now that happened today, which I think it's going to actually because it was very damaging, or it's going to wiggle and jiggle until it goes. But here is the target. It's almost a half of retracement of that price up there where that 141 was with that damaging gap that happened. Here, and here's $76. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there. But you can see the first bar of the day was the whole momentum here that happened very quickly. And then this was the momentum play I played down here then into the 1030 frame. And it never reset up again. In fact, let's look at this really quickly now. Here's the thing. I was in this play, got this move. Then I was watching this, and I did say to everybody in the room, it did a double bottom, did a double bottom. To some people that were still in it, I didn't hold it. When it booped over 96, I took it off. This did a double bottom, did a double bottom. Now, double bottoms can break. I didn't know that number was anywhere at the moment that it did it, but I said, be careful because this is starting to do a scoop. And I did say, if this is going to hold, it has to hold right here above this area. Why? Because it started to do a scoop. Then it was bending down. This 5 minute needed to hold. It set up like it was going to work. This is a valid trade. It had a nice entry in here. 95.89 was the entry. Stop had to be over 96.11. That's a 25-cent stop with the spread for BIDU. That's pretty good. And it had to come down and break a new low here. When it didn't, you got to be out. You know, this had a chance. And it could have done it, but this had to hold right here. Now, how do I know that has to hold? Because the stock has to keep breaking new lows if it's going to keep breaking, and it did a double bottom. It did break a new low here only by 3 pennies, and it bounced off of a double bottom. Not hard, but hard enough to make me aware of the fact that it may not continue. And the way the market was today, this afternoon, then, it probably made this give it a little bit of a lift. Because the gap really is a damaging gap. And despite the market, this thing worked all morning. And despite the market, it did rally up. It really, really closed the day red. There it is, closed the day red. So let's quick look at the 1 minute here. Actually, this was I'll just show you the trade that I did. This is the trade that I did. I actually did the 5 minute trade. It was one of those ones where I was watching. I got up here. I got in here in the one. Okay, I got in here in the one, but my stop, I used the 5 minute for my stop. I put it at 85 with the spread. And then I added, once it triggered here in the 5, or a little bit before, and this boop up. And as soon as it did this topping tail and held, it got in. And once I'm up this money in this trade in here, I was up and this broke under 96. I said, I'm not letting it get back under 96. I put my stop at over 96.01, and this did ding up a little bit here, and I got taken out of it right there at my price at 96.01, which is fine. This was a nice move down here from where I was in it with my original price, and I wasn't going to give any of that back then. And then it could have broken down another $1.50, but I wasn't 100% it was going to do it because it didn't do it here, and the market was rallying, and I didn't understand why this halted at 95.33. So I wasn't 100% it was going to go then to that number, and I didn't want it to back up at all. That's why I lowered my stop too. I said, you know what, I'm not letting this back up at all. If this backs up at all and I have to put my stop over here, it's too big. It's too far away from this money I'm up. So that's why I made the decision that I made up here. Okay, so I had a really nice price in this and had a really nice move in the second move. And if you got the first move, good for you. This one was good too. And they both paid. They both paid. But hopefully you saw that's double bottom here and didn't get back in this and try to squeeze more out of it, because this is real. And now I see what it did. In the moment, I was trying to find that number. I couldn't find it. Now I just did find it. But really, it was this weekly. Do you see this here? That is what happened today. It just went and touched right down on it, and poof, that's it. So I was looking for more in here. That's what I was looking for. 94.50, really, or 95, which isn't that far away from here. I mean, it could have done it. Just didn't do it. Very weak though, despite the market. Very good gap, very damaging gap. I did see it this morning, and you never know with these things if they're going to rally first in the open. But I guess, you know what? It really needed to show the weakness immediately because of the market today, and it did, luckily. And so it worked out. Nice trade today in BIDU. This is a gap down on February 5th. If anyone has any questions or is interested in learning how to find these gaps or rate these gaps or play these gaps, you can feel free to contact me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. Thanks, and have a great day.